How you doing, everybody? It's the RazMan coming at you with another episode of RazManWrestling here on the RazMan's Reality as we talk about WWE Money in the Bank 2015, the review, today on the RazMan's Reality. Alrighty, Money in the Bank kicked off with the Money in the Bank ladder match itself, which seems to be the pattern for these pay-per-views because they always want to keep the mystery is there going to be an immediate cash-in that same night. And in the surprise of the evening, the only surprise of the evening, in my opinion, Sheamus walks away with the Money in the Bank briefcase, not Roman Reigns, after Roman Reigns is attacked out of nowhere by Bray Wyatt. I think the Reigns-Wyatt feud has the potential to be great, but everything Bray Wyatt does has the potential to be great. It's just that WWE tends to, and I hate using this term because it's usually not appropriate, because burying means that you actually push a guy down without no plans to build him back up. Burying is not losing every match, but in this case, I think the term is appropriate. They tend to bury Bray Wyatt. So we'll just have to wait and see where this goes. Bray Wyatt really hasn't had any moment to shine at all since his feud with John Cena. So we'll see where this goes. I'm excited about it on paper as long as they don't screw it up. Next up, we had I believe it was the Divas title match or the Intercontinental title match. Honestly, I can't remember the order of the matches. I do apologize, but let's talk about the Intercontinental title match. It got thrown out after Miz gets involved attacking both guys. It was pretty physical, I guess, if you want to call it that. The Big Show and Ryback put on a good show of physicality, and Ryback continues to look really strong. I like what they're doing with Ryback because it's not too much and it's not really forced down our throats kind of a thing. It's just Ryback letting more of his personality come out, and he does actually have one. If you remember back from the Skip Sheffield days, his problem has just always been his mic skills. He just was never very good on the mic, but he's getting progressively better and better and better. So I like what they're doing with Ryback. Let's just see where it goes, just like the Bray Wyatt Roman Reigns thing. Talk about the Divas Championship match next. This was the third best match of the night, and I say third best loosely because I can't choose between Kevin Owens and John Cena, which we'll talk about next, and the main event for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship between Rollins and Ambrose, as far as what was the better match, because they're both so good and both kept me so entertained. But this one really did too. I really enjoyed the Divas title match. Say what you want about Nikki and Brie Bella, but they've gotten better and better and better ever since they hooked up with John Cena and Daniel Bryan. They've made them better in-ring performers. And Nikki Bella, I never thought I would be okay with her holding the Divas Championship. Since she still has it, it will now be 204 days going into Raw tonight. I never thought that I would be okay with that, but I am, because she's just really gotten better. And her and Paige put on a heck of a show last night, just like I thought it would. It ended up with more twin magic tricks and Nikki retains the title. And the reason I'm not surprised by that is because I don't think there will be a Divas title change all the way until SummerSlam. And I think where it's leading, now they could do it at Battleground because SummerSlam is always a congested card, and they might decide that they don't want the Divas storyline that they've actually been investing in to be overshadowed by a bigger card, so it could happen at Battleground. But where I think all this is leading, with Paige talking about they have to change the Divas division and stop the Bellas from running roughshod and stop them from their heel tactics, I think it's all leading to Paige bringing in Charlotte Flair, and Paige and Charlotte Flair are going to be allies against the Bella Twins, and then eventually leading to Charlotte turning on Paige and leading into her moment in the sun as the next Divas champion after Paige. That's what I think is going to happen there. Unless they even go even further, which I would love to see, and do a whole 4 horsewomen thing with Paige, Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks, and Becky Lynch. But the problem with that is that they would have to find logic behind Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch wanting to work together again, and they would have to put aside what's been going on in NXT. So, and the same with Charlotte and Sasha Banks as well. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens there, but that is the most ideal situation. And you could even throw Bayley into that mix, have Bayley be like the Sting type of character. I talked about this in the past with the PW Outsider, if you've seen those videos. Have Bayley be the Sting like character in this scenario where she's brought in and then they use her for their own means, and she is always the outside force battling against the 4 horsewomen. But Ric Flair needs something to do with that Legends contract, and I've always said it. I've said it from day one. Don't ignore the Flair name of Charlotte Flair. The Flair name is going to make Charlotte Flair stronger and more relevant in the mainstream audience's eyes that have never watched NXT. You have to capitalize on it. This is the perfect way to do it. Have Ric Flair act as the manager role for the 4 horsewomen. Whether we see that with Paige as part of it, or whether we see that with Charlotte using it as her means to actually turn on Paige and bring up her 3 girls with her, is yet to remain to be seen. But I see that happening somewhere down the road if WWE is smart about it. The tag team title match happened exactly the way I thought it would. Some people were surprised by it, but nope, I wasn't. PTP defeats the New Day and finally gets their moment in the sun. PTP has been booked really, really strongly and really, really well. And with the whole thing of Money in the Bank being in Columbus, Ohio, Coach Meyer, the head coach of my Ohio State Buckeyes, the former head coach of the Florida Gators, the tie-ins with Titus O'Neil, the whole thing was just right there on the wall. I'm very, very happy to see it and excited for the primetime players. They worked their butt off. I'm excited for them to get hopefully a decent reign with the tag team titles, especially now since unfortunately Tyson Kidd is injured and cannot, and he and Cesaro are kind of out of the picture right now because he cannot compete, is what I was trying to say there. Kevin Owens versus John Cena. I love this match. Even though John Cena won, I love it because it was just as good as the first, if not better. More near finishers. Both guys getting so frustrated, like, what are we going to do to beat each other? But John Cena had to win this match because there has to be a third match. You can't have a feud that the crowd is just invested in and that means so much for the changing of the guard in WWE. You haven't had a feud, especially a John Cena feud, anywhere in the last arguably 5-6 years. That, unless you count Bray Wyatt, but Bray Wyatt didn't turn out the way the fans wanted to, but you've never had a John Cena feud in a number of years. that the fans actually care about and are actually invested in. So you can't have it end just after 2 matches. There had to be a reason for the 3rd match. So it's wrestling 1-on-1. Cena wins match number 2, but Kevin Owens still looks strong because he does his power bomb on the ring apron to John Cena. I expect John Cena to sell this injury for a couple of weeks time, and then that will lead into probably the rubber match at SummerSlam, which will be title for title. As long as Kevin Owens still holds the NXT title, he could potentially lose the NXT title on July 4th at the Tokyo event to become a full-time main roster guy. We will just have to wait and see, but I'm really looking forward to Owens Cena 3, unless they do 4 matches. If they want to do a match at Battleground and do 4 matches, I have no issue with that at all whatsoever, and I don't think anybody else would at this point either, because it's a tremendous feud. But yeah, I loved it. I love the emotion. I love the announcers, which was really surprising. Michael Cole and JBL and Jerry Lawler did a great job of conveying the emotion and the frustration in the match. I love John Cena getting up and arguing with the referee. You never see that. I love the flip. I can't think of the name of it right now. My brain is not wanting to cooperate with me, but the Lucha Libre style flip move coming from John Cena, you never thought you would see that. It's just a great match. And then the main event for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, the ladder match between Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. It actually was truly Seth Rollins all by himself. Finally, they let Seth Rollins carry a match on his own, and Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose did the same thing they did on the independent scene as Tyler Black and Jon Moxley for all those years. They did the same thing that they did when they had their matches in FCW before the NXT days. When they faced each other, they just put on an absolutely amazing match. So many crazy ladder spots. Dean Ambrose getting buried in a pile of ladders and chairs. It was just absolutely brilliant. Everything about it was absolutely brilliant, and I apologize if you hear the family showering in the background, by the way, on the Yeti. Yeah, I just loved everything about it. It was just a tremendous ladder match, one of the better ladder matches I've seen in a while, and Rollins retains the title after both men fall down off the ladder with the title in their hands. The impact of the fall jars it loose from Dean Ambrose's hands, and Rollins comes down with it. Tremendous ending to the pay-per-view. When are we going to see Brock Lesnar? Is he going to be at Battleground? Is he going to be at SummerSlam? We'll have to tune in to Raw tonight to find out. But I'm really excited with the product right now. I can't say enough about what WWE is doing. WWE is doing all the right things right now, in my opinion, and it's been a while since I've been able to see that. So let me know what you thought about Money in the Bank down below in the comment section. And as always, if you like what you saw here today and you haven't subscribed yet, please do so, because I would love to see you again. Don't forget to like and share as well, because those always help with views. And as always, this is reality according to the RazMan, and RazMan style is not just a catchphrase, but a way of life.